Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Good morning to my beautiful coffee beans. Happy Monday as we start heating it up to Thanksgiving. Good morning, my beautiful people of the YT. Looky. It's starting to feel a lot like Christmas, and I'm already on my second half gallon. Now, granted, I bought the first half gallon, a couple weeks ago, but my second half gallon of eggnog, okay? Eggnog does not stick around this house very often, and it's just me and Delilah, okay? I'm just saying, Delilah's drinking a lot of eggnog. That's all. I'm just trying to, I'm trying to put it out there like that. I don't know where she's putting it all, but every single day I wake up and I go check my eggnog, and it looks like just a little bit more and a little bit more is missing. And if you guys know anything about me, it is the time of the season for don't. Oh, I got a button for that. Hold on. Here it is. Peppermint mocha, baby. Peppermint mocha. I've never had eggnog. Oh, mama. Oh my gosh. It'll make, if you drink too much of it, you'll be sick. I mean, it is delicious. It's creamy goodness. It's just creamy goodness. And I don't know why they don't make it throughout the year. I would literally buy eggnog throughout the year, but they don't make it throughout the year. They only make it a specialty item this time of year. So if you you know what I need to do? I need to buy a crap ton of half gallons and just throw them in the freezer. Sonia says, yeah. Come on, Sonia. What is wrong with you?
Damn.
I got a button for it. So good morning. I know you guys were wondering, where the heck was Betty yesterday? Well, I did put the lights up around the house, the day before, so I can't really complain about that. I've been having horrible back pains. I can't do crap around here without being laid up in bed. I just can't. My back is so bad that no matter what I do, even getting up and down a ladder, to put stinking lights on the house, okay? And so we've got lights on the house. We got my blow up stuff. I've got the stuff attached to my little mini palm trees out front. And it's feeling a lot like Christmas this year. And so now I've got to adjust the living room because right over there, right past the Santa, in those two windows is going to be a beautiful Christmas tree peeking out through the sheer, curtains. So as you guys know, I am drinking out of our handy dandy Nick the Hat coffee mug. I just want to say to Nick the Hat, you did an amazing job yesterday. If you were not on Nick the Hat's channel, we're not going to go over it today because I want him to get some people. You need to go over there and check it out. He had some pretty high up people. Like I'm surprised. Julie Grant. I've been kind of having a little spat with Julie Grant over the Melodee Buzzard case, and they touched on it. They touched on that. And the most prolific abduction of women, young teenagers, in our recent history in Ohio. Amanda Berry, DeSeuss, and I can't remember the other one. They were basically kidnapped and chained and in a basement and turned into these slaves, and people were looking for them, and this guy kept them alive all this time, and had a child with one of them, and it was just a very horrific scene. And then the reality of it was just even more grotesque. And they ultimately ended up taking Castro's, I think that's his name, something Castro. I can't remember all the names. This is just going off the top of my head. Anyways, yeah, they ended up taking his house completely down. So anyways, they had the gentleman that saved her, that helped her get out of the door. And he was up there on his panel, and they did an entire show, and it looked like they had some technical difficulties, but they ended up doing a second show. They ended up hanging out with Mr. and Mrs. E Crimecast. It was just really, really interesting conversation and just learning a little bit about one of the most horrific child abduction cases in our history, you know, right there in Ohio. And it was just, it was horrible. Ariel Castro, there it is. It was the monster. Yep. And they ended up tearing his entire house down because of it. I mean, you just can't have them. You know, it was just horrible what we learned. Horrible. I pray that those women, you know, get to live a happy and normal life. But, you know, after living through something like that, you know, the possibility of having a normal or happy life is few and far between. I can tell you that. I mean, it's going to take a lot of therapy to un-F somebody's mind that went through something like this. I mean, just period. It's just ain't going to happen. So if you guys want to know why I wasn't here yesterday, I was, you know, obviously getting some Christmas stuff up, and it's hard to study a case and get Christmas stuff up. And try to do stuff. So, and every time I came back here to you know, come on, just to let you guys know I'm you know, hi, somebody else was going live. So I ended up just kind of sitting back yesterday, and doing whatever I needed to do around here. So today is going to be getting the living room reorganized so I can get the tree up in the living room. I would like to have my Christmas done before Thanksgiving. Okay, so you guys know I'm down to the wire. This is a reminder for all you beautiful people out there. If you guys are cooking your bird needs to come out. If you guys are at home right now and your bird's in the freezer, stop what you're doing, get up, go grab your bird and put it from the freezer into the refrigerator. Okay, if you don't know, do that. If you guys brine your bird first, my suggestion, get the stock pot, just throw the freaking bird into the water and throw it in the refrigerator, okay? And just let it thaw and brine at the same time. That would be my suggestion, but do you, whatever you guys do. If you don't know what brine is, it's where you take you know how sometimes people's turkeys really taste really, really good? Well, what they do is they stick the entire bird into heavily salted water, okay? The salt water goes into the meat and basically seasons your meat. So you have tasty meat. I always recommend brining a turkey. So if you don't know anything about brining, the good news is we have ChatGPT, we have Google. Each and every one of you guys should be able to make a perfect bird. Now, if you do anything like I do, it doesn't come out perfect because you always have the rack lines. I cook my bird upside down. I find that cooking it upside down 3/4 of the way through before I flip it over really makes that white meat very, very, very juicy. A lot of people complain about having dry white meat during the holidays, and they prefer dark meat because of it. You don't need to eat meat. You don't need to eat your turkey like that, folks. You can turn it upside down. Remember, your juice comes from your bones, okay? So if I can give you any tidbit of advice, your juice comes from your bones, and your bones on a bird. This is not just for turkey. I mean, think about your chickens, your whole chickens, right? You have more bone on the bottom of it, you know, the rib cage, everything's hard down here. So if you flip it upside down, all that juice from the bone goes into your meat. So that's kind of the process behind it if you want to know. Your juice comes from your bone. So think of it like that. Where are all your bones, right? They're on the bottom. So if you flip the bird upside down, obviously all those juices from those bones go down into your meat. So just a little thought. Now, I also, a tidbit. Oh, we also have a recipe. A recipe came in. Ooh, I forgot. I almost forgot. We're talking about all this good food. And people sent in recipes. Hold on a second. I did remember seeing a recipe in here. Hold on. I wasn't prepared this morning. And then we'll say hi to everybody because I obviously am being very, very, very rude. I apologize. I'm not trying to be rude to my audience, but apparently I'm being very rude. I didn't even want to say hi to you guys this morning. Let me just say before we get started, what am I thankful for this year? Okay, guys, I am thankful for each and every one of you. That's what I'm thankful for. And I'm being serious. I am thankful for you guys. We have a lot of great times here on this channel. We do a lot of great work here on this channel. We analyze these cases, even some very difficult ones where everybody's like, screw you, Betty. We're coming for you with our pitchforks, right? We still do well. So I'm very thankful for each and every one of you. So thank you guys. So this year, that's what I'm going to be thankful for. I'm going to be thankful because, my family and friends are, kind of, sort of. My BFF, she doesn't get into all the true, she'll tell me about true crime cases around our town and stuff like that, which I really don't get too much involved in the stuff that goes on right here. And everybody's like, why don't you do that? Because I don't, because sometimes I have to bring down the hammer. And it's a little bit harder when it's the people that you work with politically. You got to remember, I'm very much involved. I mean, I'm having a freaking very, very, very public fight with 2 county commissioners in my county, and I've got the yahoos clipping. Poor George, right? Whatever. Screw him. Anyways, so, I'm in here talking about stuff in my personal sphere about going to, my county meetings and stuff like that. And I said, just clip this and send it over to the SOB or whatever I said, because we're going after George and Amanda Ballard, which I am. I'm going after both of them. George is going to be off in a few years. A couple years I'll be able to start really going after him, which I've already been going after him. I've been going after him for the last, at least, year and a half, right? Under the radar, throwing some stuff out and, getting some people going and having them do other things and whatnot, what have you. And so anyway, somebody sent the clip where I'm saying I want them off. I'm going to be working very hard because they know. I mean, it's not like, I worked with both of them to get them elected on that board. I mean, George had a very tough last election with KVO wanting to take his position. And so KVO is much like me, is a generational, and he gets a little more loyalty, which he shouldn't have gotten. That was the wrong decision for me and politically for me, but I was a little partial to KVO. And then KVO, of course, stabbed me in the back. So, I was ready for George. I wanted George to stay in position and thought he was getting a horrible shake from KVO. Well, we put him in a position. Well, no, he was just, I see why KVO couldn't stand to work with him. Okay. And so now I want him off the board. We've given him enough time and everything like that. And he's done a lot of stuff. Like I've come up, when he got into a wreck for driving drunk, I mean, who was sitting there in those county meetings softening that blow for him? It was Bullhorn Betty. Okay. It was Bullhorn Betty and Glenn Gibellina that covered his ass. While he was drinking and driving and drove his blessed truck into a freaking tree. Who's in those meetings covering that man's ass? Who? Go back and look. It was Bullhorn Betty. And he wants to mock and stab me in the back and cross me. And then he's like, oh, well, you can't do nothing for 3 years. Well, I'm going to show everybody that you're drinking again. That's what I'm going to prove over the next 3 years, is that you still got that bottle in your mouth. And that is exactly what I plan on proving over the next 3 years. He's done. Amanda Ballard is done. So all these little hate channels that want to clip this and send this to George Cruz can go ahead and clip it and send it to George Cruz, because Bullhorn Betty doesn't give a shit. I covered his ass long enough. I was friends with him when he chose to drive a knife in my back, not the other way around. So you know what I do? When people do that and they show their colors and they're nothing but a flippin' rhino, we remove them from office. Okay, they might be able to pat themselves on the back or do some things as a last-ditch effort to try to get them, some points. But once you're done, you're done. okay? And these two people have exhausted any type of positivity that they can do for this county. It's time for them to move on. Both of them got alcohol issues all up in their lives. Amanda Ballard's husband's a drunk, and I got George Cruz on there that is a recovering drunk. I don't know. We're going to go ahead and expose all that once I get enough information. We'll see where that goes. So I'm definitely going to be going after some politicians over the next 4 years. And they know I'm coming after them. I don't keep it quiet. I keep it above the belt. You know, I get some people that want to sit there and yell at me. And I always have to remind my politicians, I'm just one vote. Okay. All right, cupcakes, I'm just one vote. I've got to move a whole bunch of people. Move them in order to get people off this board. But that's exactly what we'll do. We hold our feet to the fire when it comes to our politicians, and I think that everybody should also do that. Danger! All right, guys, it's nice to see you. Happy Monday, you beautiful bitch. Sorry, Sonya won't let me say the word. I was going to call you a beautiful bitch. And she won't let me say it. She doesn't even have you. We don't have a B word up there. We got no money for a B word. She's putting the cuss rates down, but there's nothing for the bish. Ooh, did I find a loophole? Did I find a loophole? Is that what we call a loophole? You know what I tell my doggy? Every time she's out there and she forgets to drop one ball before I throw the other one, and she still has the ball in her mouth when she's running up to the other ball, I said, see, you just created yourself a dilemma. She has a dilemma. Which ball to choose, the red one or the orange one? That's why you always drop the ball at mommy's feet before you run after the other ball. You got yourself a dilemma. Yeah, you know what? It's because my county has turned into a freaking country club. My county, my bedroom sleepy community has been turned into a country club because we have all these yahoos that want to move to Florida and yuck up our Florida and get into political seats and not realize what it is to be somebody from Bradenton, okay? We're not rich people. We're actually farmers. Our heritage is farming. Our heritage is not living in multi-million-dollar properties, okay? It's pushing lawnmowers. We are normal Joes here in this community, and we have all these rich people that moved here buying up all of our land, all of our waterfront property, and then they're like, oh, we don't like how things are going here. Well, why the fuck did you move here? Okay, I'm just wondering. Because I've been living here my entire life just fine. Okay? And I'm sick and tired of paying for all these bozos. I don't care to have parks on every corner. Okay? I don't care to pay for libraries on every blessed corner. I don't go to the library. Okay? I think they're a dying breed. We need 1 or 2 libraries in the county. If people want to go to them, commute. Okay? It's not my responsibility to put up all these damn libraries around this county. I don't like libraries. Okay? I'm anti-library in 2025. Okay? In 1989, we're all for libraries. But you don't have to go to a freaking library anymore. You want a book? Google it. Okay, folks? Google it. Just like everybody else does. Okay? I've been stealing PDFs from books. I don't even know. I've learned so much stuff, even creating how to freaking build a website from saying how to build a website PDF, and it gives me a freaking printable book. Throw it in a binder, and there you go. How do you think I learned HTML? I got printed out binders over here where I took the books and printed them off Google. Didn't even have to, all I had to pay for was printing supplies. Printing supplies, folks. Now, granted, most of this stuff was back in the early 20s when they didn't have all the regulations and they didn't have all the, stuff that stops you from downloading stuff without paying for it first. But back in them days, people were just throwing stuff up in the ether, and we just go and collect it. They'd put full books. They're publishing books out to the, whatever for the to buy on Amazon, and you could go and write the title of the book and just put PDF after it, and you could print the whole damn book right off the internet. Didn't even have to buy it. Those were the good days. Those were the good days when pirating was like my best friend, right? You guys remember LimeWire? How many CDs did we make through LimeWire? Oh my goodness. I had Betty's Greatest Hits. Betty's Greatest Hits. We were bebopping right on down the road. Hey! Hey! Can you get internet at Starbucks? You surely can. You can get it. Even if you're broke, just go and pull up Starbucks, McDonald's, Walmart. I mean, hell, everybody's at those places. You get free internet. Pull right on up to Walmart. There you go. You don't have internet? That's okay. You don't need internet. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to be a billionaire this day and age, But I do believe in some things like internet. I think internet access should be available. I like it because it's a tool that's utilized by law enforcement to track people. So you need to have good infrastructure, good internet infrastructure in your communities. And I think there's a lot of people lacking across this country, but that's a different story, a different day. Anyways, Melanie, it's nice to see you. Denise, Bullhorn Betty is present. Our beautiful Lisa B always is up in the house. Let them 66. It's nice to see you. Our beautiful Sonia. Vicky, good morning. It's nice to see you, Mama. Good morning, Love Bug. I hope you are doing well. Phil has blessed us with her presence from across the pond. Brenda, Sue, Texas gal. It's nice to see you. Dee's Mysteries, and she is a new Gigi. It's nice to see you, Dee. Hello, hello. Who else do we have? We have Zcali. Hopefully I pronounced that right. My Hooked on Phonics is a little broken, so bear with me. Rose, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Good Monday morning. If you guys are here for your first time, we are the loudest show on the streets first thing in the morning as we get you off to work and talk about some of our true crime cases or major talking points. Sandy, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Melanie says, thank you for all you do for the missing BHB. I appreciate you. Thank you, Melanie. I appreciate you as well. Blessed Happy Nana is blessing us with her presence. I see Bama. It's been a while, my love. It's nice to see you, girlfriend. Nerdy Girl is up in the house. It's nice to see you. Good morning. I hope everybody's doing well. Carmela, it's nice to see you, Love Bug. I hope you're doing well. Who else do we have up in the chat? Holly T is blessing us with her present. Jacqueline Hyde, good morning. Army Vet, it's nice to see you as well. Good morning. Tabitha up in the house. It's nice to see you, Love Bug. I hope you're doing well. Who else do we have? Heather, good morning, my love. I hope you are doing well. Christy, it's nice to see you. True Crime Junkie up in the house. It's always nice to have you. Another content creator up in the house. Tap dancer Lizzie, good morning. Dry turkey, more gravy. Absolutely. And I love making me some gravy now. I'm a gravy making fool. I tell you what, I won't put wine in the gravy for the turkey, but I'm telling you, anytime I make a beef wine of any sort, it's gotta have some red wine dropped in it. I don't know what it is. It just enhances the flavor. It truly does. Ever since I started working with red wine and cooking with it, I will never go back to traditional gravy. It will always, my brown gravy will always have a tablespoon or two of red wine. It enhances the flavor. I love it. Ty, it's nice to see you. Good morning. I hope everybody is doing well. Who else do we have? I think we got through. BMW Coupe up in the house. It's nice to see you, my love. Show Poodles, I almost missed you as well. I think we got everybody, though. If I missed you, good morning. For the people that are getting ready and do not have the time to even say hey in the chat. We love you. Just don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. You may not be able to say hi, but if you're here and I'm entertaining you, even if you're rolling your eyes while I'm entertaining you, I deserve a thumbs up. So haters, if you don't want to be here, then don't be here. But if you're going to be here and you're going to listen, you got to give me a thumbs up. That's just the rules. I don't make the rules. I enforce them. I'm just saying. Where is it?
This is only a test.
Damn.
What else do I got? Ooh, I like this one. We've got some major breaking news on Alec Murdaugh, so please, folks, don't go anywhere. Okay, I should have started that out earlier. Anyways, guys, getting on to the topic of conversations, we got a lot to go over here. But the first thing is, as many of you guys didn't know this, and you know we do a lot of stuff, even though if it's not, true crimey. It doesn't always have to be true crimey, right? Sometimes it's just a buyer beware. We have a settlement, a $2.5 billion settlement from Prime. This is related to an antitrust settlement. Now check this out. This is where I have some major problems, okay? $2.5 billion is a lot, okay? We have over 300 million people. Let's just say 300 million. That's everybody, right? Let's just go 300 million. Let me put this in where's my damn calculator? Okay, let's do 300 million. So we got 3,000, we got 3 million, 300 million divided by 2.5 trillion, or billion. Is that billion? How many? 1, 2, 3. So we got 300 million. Right? And then we got 2.5 trillion. Okay. So equals. That looks like about $1,200 per person. Okay? That's if we covered every single person in America. Okay? So with $2.5 billion, if we were to divide that, I think it comes up to like either $12 or $1,200. I can't figure out what it is here, but it's like that. Okay, for every single person in America, I think it's $1,200. Quite frankly, it's 0.12. So with what I'm trying to say is, do you know that your settlement for this, which you should sign up if you think you're due a settlement from Amazon Prime or read this, but you're getting $51 check. How did we go from $1,200 to $51? I would love to, exactly. So if we were to take everybody, $2.5 billion and divide it into the 300 million people we have in the United States of America, everybody would get $1,200, okay? That's everybody with this settlement. How in the world do we have people only getting $51? Where is this money going? I think this needs to be a bigger conversation about these class action settlements, because I'm working on doing a class action settlement against some major, social media, platforms for their censorship, right? They are a publicly traded company. They have to follow the law. They're not a private company. And because of that, we are entitled to First Amendment privileges, as well as the 230 privilege that all these social media have, saying basically that they can't be liable for the content I create. They can't be financially liable if somebody gets injured. I'm financially liable. That's what the 230 protection for these social media. So they're not producers and they're not publishers. So they can't dictate what comes out of my mouth and what I can post on their platform. It protects everybody all the way around. Yet they always try to censor people in violation of the Constitution. A publicly traded company that all of us have investments in. They have no rights to tell me more than they have rights to tell you what content, unless it's not privileged content or it's not covered content. You can't walk into a movie theater and scream fire. It is against the law. So there are constraints in your speech that can throw you in jail. But you speaking freely is not one of those reasons. You violating the rules is, such as going into a movie theater and screaming fire, right? That is illegal. So I'm having a problem with this whole $2.5 billion Prime settlement and all of these people, which it's not going to be every single household in the United States. So where the hell is this money going? How in the world are people only receiving $51 when you know damn well they were most likely injured a hell of a lot larger and more than that? Where is this money going? I feel like our government is stealing from us. Now, I know that a chunk of this, maybe 33 and a third of this $2.5 billion settlement goes to the firm that's representing all of us, even though we didn't specifically ask them. I didn't ask this law firm to represent me. We didn't have a choice on which law firm represented us. They filed a suit on behalf of all of us without our consent. But now we're here, and they're like, okay, well, you need to file this to get your settlement. Okay, well, that sounds great. $2.5 billion surely sounds amazing. And this stems from a 2023 Federal Trade Commission file an antitrust lawsuit against Amazon. The lawsuit alleged the company enrolled millions of customers in Prime subscriptions without their knowledge or consent, which they did. Now, mind you, this Prime thing, I think, cost me $100 a year. I have not disassociated myself with that. It may be $100 a year. It may be the fact that I'm paying the $15 or whatever dollars a month that I'm paying for Prime. I really don't know, but I know I didn't personally sign up for all of this. It was just provided as part of the subscription. So they're charging me XYZ a month. So I've been on this, say, for 5 years. So they've basically have taken several $100s from me, if not $1,000, and our payout is a maximum of $51. So eligible Prime customers will receive a refund of their subscription fee up to a maximum of $51. Now, mind you, if you had this subscription fee for an entire year, Prime is like $129. So you're not even being paid your full fee. You're not even being paid your full fee. So again, I just have a problem with these. I think we need to start looking at these organizations that are doing these class actions, because when you calculate it out, even if you were to give them a 50%, the attorneys 50%, leaving, $1.75 billion on the table for everybody else, that's still $600 per person in this entire country, and everybody's getting $51. Where the flip is the money going? Where is the money going? I want to know. This is beyond, this settlement here. This was just one that I understood a lot, that I could calculate and do some calculations. And when I did some calculations, it doesn't make sense. You're talking about $2.5 billion here. Why are eligible people only getting 50? Where in the hell is the 2.5? That's barely even giving $100 million out of a $2.5 billion settlement. Where the flip is the money? And where the hell is the money going? And people should be asking this. And I think it's time for us to start suing these law enforcement companies that are stealing and squandering the people's money. Because that's what it looks like here. I'm smelling something fishy. I'm smelling something way types of fishy with this whole thing. Now, getting on to something else before we start getting in, we're going to be going over 3 cases very quickly, and then we're going to take a deep dive into Alec Murdaugh, which is a case that we covered quite extensively on this channel. We were there for the auction. We were there for the appeals court. We were there when the clerk, Becky Hill, was lying to a judge on the stand. We were there. We were there with Alec Murdaugh's attorneys. We were there with a whole bunch of people just trying to find out what truly happened and just searching for the truth. So we'll be getting into that. But I did want to get into this because we do talk about politics on this channel. And any channel that chooses not to talk about, that's their choice. But usually it's from felon channels. They don't even have the right to vote. We're over here. We're not pieces of shit on the Bullhorn Betty channel. And most of you guys have your rights to be able to vote. You're not felons. You don't break the law. You don't try to beat up kids or people around your community. Therefore, you have the ability to still vote. And here in Georgia, we have a problem with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene was somebody that I highly recommended. I idolized. She was a true hitter in this movement, but some people weren't so bought and paid for when it came to her. And a lot of people spoke out about her early on, such as Laura Loomer, which I do lean upon for some type of guidance. Not completely. Me and Laura, we did differ on several different fronts. But in this one, I thought she was wrong. I thought she was wrong. But what we've dealt with Marjorie Taylor Greene is a woman that got upset. This is one of the reasons why I don't like women in politics, okay? Unless you are an alpha female. She appears to be an alpha female, right? But she's not. She's not. She has the appearance of being an alpha female, but she is far from being an alpha female. She allowed her emotions to get the better of her. And this is where I don't like women in these types of positions. And people are like, Betty, you empower women, you tell women nothing can stop them. And I agree. And I do. I try to empower a lot of women to step out of their comfort zones and do things that they don't normally do. And I pray to God that they do well. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to say that a woman is good for this position or good for that position or good for that position. I'm honest. And when it comes to politics, there's a lot of emotions, and sometimes women are the weaker link. Okay, just by definition, women are more nurturing. We're more people-pleasing people. These are characteristics of women and moms. Okay, we don't want to take those characteristics away because they make fabulous moms, right? But at the end of the day, it makes horrible for positions of these things unless you have, and even when you have, like you're doing it for your children, right? And they're your driving force. There's still something that can be manipulated, and you can be manipulated a lot easier than a man. Now, that being said, you've got to say, that's not true. That's not true. And I don't expect people to bode 100% with all of my beliefs, and that's okay. But I definitely thought Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of those alpha females that could get the job done. But what happened to her is she wanted to move up the ladder. She wanted to put her hand into the Senate, and she wasn't getting the support of Donald J. Trump, because Donald J. Trump wants somebody else in that position, obviously somebody that he has faith in, trust in, that can do certain things he needs to have done in those positions. And, Marjorie Taylor Greene is still fairly new in the arena. And so he is not really going and bowing to her and told her he's not going to be supporting for her run as senator. And then what happens? She becomes vindictive. Again, another trait of females. And another reason why I can't, it makes it very hard for me to palate, women in very strong positions, because again, women are nurturing and people pleasers by nature. Okay. We are that way. Some of us aren't. Some of us don't have a problem telling people to get bent, but the majority of women like to be nurturing and like to be beneficial, helpful, and it sets you up for manipulation. It just is what it is, okay? I'm not telling you to change who you are as a wonderful, loving person that sees the great in everybody. I want you to stay just like that, but it's exactly why I feel that women sometimes aren't best suited for some of these positions. I like Carrie Lake. Could Carrie Lake do the same thing? Of course she could. At one time, I liked Tom Massey. Tom Massey was basically, he started his career out like me. He was a political activist. He was one that got in the streets and got people, together and protested and stuff like that. That's a lot of what I do and have done in my history and in my past, And so I've always idolized politicians that came up the ranks like that. So I naturally had a liking or, favor towards, say, Tom Massey. But that was to the extent of our union. He is going against everything that we need. But long story short, this squabble that Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, mind you, she's dating Brian, which is well known. He's a well-known journalist. She's putting a lot of crap on his shoulders that he does not need. This is not his fight. And there are people attacking Brian, and I'm out there trying to say, look, her career's over. Let's quit beating a dead dog, dead horse here. Yeah, Massey and Rand Paul, I can't stand them. I want them all out. But she sided with, she had an amazing career ahead of her, and I don't understand why she allowed this to just. But it shows you the obsessive stuff that we don't see in these politicians when we're campaigning for them. It takes real problems before you start seeing their instability, and she really showed a lot of instability. She sided with Paul and Massey for the Epstein files. There was different ways for her to do it, but to stand up there behind signs that are condemning the person that gave her the biggest platform, Donald J. Trump, that was the biggest slap in the face. As soon as she stood there neck to neck with Tom Massey, she lost my support, and I guarantee she lost the majority of MAGA support with it. But she's resigning now. She's going to wait until she has her pension, right? 5 years, which that needs to be changed. We need to be pushing for that to be 10 years. I don't want to be having all of these, these sophomores coming in and having full pensions for the rest of their life because they were able to keep their asses in the Senate or in the House for 5 years. That's bullshit. So, and that's our money going to these people. When are you fully vested in any corporation in America after 5 years? You raise your hand. If it's not there for the American people, it should not be there for the politicians. I'm sorry. We're not in a place where it's haves and have-nots. We give our politicians a lot of money and a lot of leeway to help us. And then every single time you turn around, they're cheating. They're grabbing more than they deserve. And I'm getting sick and tired of it. And this is no different. I'm not crying over Marjorie Taylor Greene stepping down. I think it's good. She caused a lot of pain and an embarrassment for the MAGA movement. I can tell you, when we start turning our back on her and literally calling for her to be removed, you've pissed off the entire base. Okay, you can't piss off the entire base and think you're going to be in this. She knows she's out. She knows she doesn't want to be primaried, so she's tapping out. After she gets, of course, her pension, after we made this woman a millionaire. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Trader Greene, is a disgrace to the MAGA movement. I'm glad to see her go. And, I'm sure she's a nice lady and everything, but she surely did a turncoat, and that definitely goes to integrity. Her career as a politician is done. She's finished. In other news, we are learning related to Anna Kepner. We are starting to get some insight. I had an opportunity to review some court filings in her stepmother's court case related to her stepbrother that is most likely responsible for her homicide. We reported that her homicide was asphyxiation. That's the manner. She's been, it's homicide by asphyxiation. So her air supply was cut off. We heard some alarming news from her ex-boyfriend when he was talking to her. Apparently, the stepbrother tried to force himself on top of her. We don't know how accurate that is or if he was speaking out of anger or frustration. But he did state that he spoke to Anna's father about the situation once before and felt that nobody was protecting Anna. So there are some things coming out. What is that true? Is that, again, some people are very angry and have some very angry feelings about things. And I can imagine, she's here 1 minute, she's gone the next. Young people don't understand that. She was still in high school. It's just, it is a horrible, horrible situation. And to think that a stepbrother did it. We don't know how long the father and the mother, this current stepmother had been married for. I did see some court proceedings. You can see that the mother's face, she's brokenhearted over her son. My problem is the FBI is allowing him to kind of just sit. My understanding is he went to a mental hospital After he was released from the mental hospital, he's staying at another family member's house, away from his mother, away from any other children. I don't know whose house that third party is. Is it his father's house? Is it another family member's house? We do not know. I'm not going to speculate. Okay. But what I do have a problem with, as many of you guys know, would be the fact that why is he out of jail? I don't care how old he is. He murdered a young woman. He murdered a young woman, his stepsister. I don't care how mommy and daddy feel about it. Okay. I don't care. I don't care. He needs to be behind bars. It's his uncle. I don't know what you mean by it's his uncle. Oh, he's staying at his uncle's. Okay, thank you. Thank you. He shouldn't be. Okay? A 16-year-old that can strangle the life out of somebody deserves to be sitting in jail while they await trial. Why is he being provided special privileges in the state of Florida? We don't give special privileges in the state of Florida. It's one of the things that I like about the state of Florida. Okay? It's one of the things that I like about the state of Florida. I don't care. Okay? I understand mommy and daddy's feelings. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, they put all of these children in one room. I don't know how that is okay. These are like, teenage children. I don't feel comfortable that there are teenage children that are in a room and it's co-ed. Okay, I have a problem with that. I don't know anybody that thinks that whole situation is a good situation. Mommy and daddy should either have had the two boys with them and Anna in her room by herself, or the two boys together and Anna in the room with them. Okay? I'm sorry. I just have a problem with the whole co-ed situation and the whole blended family co-ed situation. It's just a recipe for disaster. I don't know if I agreed. When I found out about all three of the siblings being in the room together, I mean, I kind of get it, but you would definitely expect that the guys would leave the room when it's time for her to get a shower, or I don't know how all that works. Is there like co-ed shower? I don't know how any of that works. Do you have showers in your rooms? Do you have to use shower? I don't know. I've never been on a cruise before. I don't know. I just don't think that this was good. And then if you really do couple this with the boyfriend or the ex-boyfriend telling the dad about the stepbrother, and then the father putting because it sounds like we were right at the beginning. Somebody came in here and said that she was on the boat with her family, and then we heard it was the grandparents, and then we were back to the parents. Well, it sounds like she truly was on the boat with her stepmother and father and her two like her stepbrother and her brother. It does sound like that is one bathroom per stateroom. That's been your experience. Okay, thank you for that. I don't know. I've never been on a cruise, so I wouldn't know. I mean, I've been on the sunset cruises that came with dinner and stuff like that, but it's not in international waters. It's not going out of the county I'm in. It's just going out in the water just to drive in a circle while you eat, type of thing. Definitely not something I'm sleeping, overnight on, So, I don't know. I think it's sad. But at the end of the day, I don't understand why the boy is getting special. He killed this woman, okay? She was 18 years old. His stepsister. He took the life from her. Why in the hell is he still out of jail? This might be one of those things where we may protest. I'm sorry. I don't care about the dad. I don't care about the mom. Obviously they had an opportunity to protect their child and failed at that one task. And I don't want to be rude or mean, but it sounds like there was reasons to worry about the 16-year-old, yet you shove them in a small cabin together? I've got a problem with that. And I'm not one of these people that shy away from it. When there's problems to be had, I don't want to hurt the family any more than they're hurt. But this was a preventable problem, and here we are. And now we got a 16-year-old boy getting special treatment. We're not doing that in the state of Florida. So what we're going to do is we're going to start using some phone campaigning, and we're going to get this 16-year-old boy locked up, okay? And people can be pissed off and mad at me and say, Betty, you're being mean. I don't give a shit, okay? If I was a victim of homicide by a 16-year-old, I don't want that 16-year-old laying his freaking head down on a pillow. I want him to hear the jail cell close behind him. Let me find it. I want to hear it. Right? We're not seeking justice. Well, we got to worry about his mental. I'm not worried about a 16-year-old mental health when he killed somebody. Okay? His mental health was a concern before the homicide. After the homicide, it's too late. Okay? Okay, Mommy and Daddy? It's too late. It's too late. You had an opportunity to act and you failed. You failed. We hold people accountable on this show. As uncomfortable as it is, we hold people accountable on the show. And according to the boyfriend, he raised the concerns to this girl's father. Okay? He raised his concerns with the father. Not the boy's mother, with Anna's dad. Anna's dad is the man, he is the protector, and he turned his head the other way. And he put his daughter in a very dangerous situation. Okay? While I'm very, very sorry that that's the details of this case, those are the details of this case. And unfortunately, we are going to have to hold Mommy and Daddy accountable for this. Okay? Publicly. We understand that they need to grieve, and we are very, very sorry for their loss, but we shouldn't be here. This should not be a case. We shouldn't be looking at Anna dead. She should have been able to get off that boat and live her life and go after her dreams, but if not for everybody just looking the other way when there was clearly a problem with the 16-year-old sibling that nobody wanted to acknowledge. Nobody wanted to acknowledge until we have a deceased girl. Now everybody's like, we don't want to talk about it. We don't want to let anybody know that this is family. No, that's not how we roll. That's not how we roll. We hold everybody accountable when it comes to the death of anybody. Everyone. This was a preventable, once again, a preventable death. And the more the parents are fighting it and the more nasty they're being to people that are speaking out about this, the more they're starting to look a little complicit. Okay? At the end of the day, they failed their child. Why? Because they failed to take notice of a very serious problem going on in their family. And clearly, it was serious because we have an 18-year-old girl that's dead. So it should have been acted on. And it wasn't. And that's a problem. But our problem now is, why is this 16-year-old able to lay his head on a mattress and bed and pillow in the comfort of freedom, while this woman, this young 18-year-old girl with her whole life ahead, just got put into a ground? Okay? We don't do that here in the state of Florida. So Titusville, FBI, it's time for you to tighten this ship up. That 16-year-old boy deserves jail. He deserves it no different than any other criminal that murders a young woman. No different. We treat people no differently. He deserves to be in jail. He needs to be in jail. I don't care about we don't know what to do with a 16-year. This is not our first rodeo in the United States of America. It's time for this young, beautiful girl to have some semblance of justice, even if her parents aren't pushing for it. We here in the true crime community absolutely will. Okay? We're not bleeding hearts. We don't really care at this point. We want the suspect behind bars where he belongs. And we want the wheels of justice to start working for this young, beautiful girl. Anything less is a miscarriage of justice. Anything less is a miscarriage of justice. All right, guys, we're getting moved on to the Buzzard case. This is Melodee and Ashlee Buzzard. Many of you guys know I have bowed completely opposite with many of our counterparts in mainstream media. I felt that this case was government overreach. I felt that this case was not fake, but not what law enforcement was saying it was. And so I've been feeling like law enforcement has deceived us. And, you know, when it's time to finally pay the piper, they, you know, duck, bob, and weave. Okay. We were told that we had a missing child. Okay. So they end up arresting this lady on unrelated charges, trumped up charges, which I said that they were. We found out that that was the case. I told you guys I felt Tyler lied. We found out that was the case. You know, we kind of analyzed this case, and we couldn't have analyzed it any better, to be honest with you, because everything we've said has been proven to be 100%. And it was just theories and analysis that brought us there, you know? So I'm really thankful for that. But, you know, at the end of the day, what happened to law enforcement? Do we not have a missing child anymore? Because this is what's going to happen, and this is what pisses me off. And I told you, I've been calling it from the very beginning. This law enforcement body does not have the probable cause to be in this woman's life. Otherwise, they would have been in the dependency court, getting a court order for her to turn over her child or tell them where she is so they could do a wellness check. And they have failed to accomplish that. And that is something that they should be accomplishing. Guys, if you guys are coming in, we got 118 people in the chat right now. If you guys could hit that thumbs up button, I would greatly appreciate it. That helps us more than you know. If you guys wouldn't mind coming back in, telling us what part of the United States or the world you are from and what the temperature is. Over here in the United States of America, we do Fahrenheit. We're not smart enough to do Celsius. I don't know the differentiating numbers between Celsius and Fahrenheit. So if you are from across the pond, can you put the Fahrenheits in there if you know it? I hear you guys are much smarter in that area than we are. But I'm not saying nothing, just minding my own business over here, you know, just saying. So right here in Florida, I don't even know what temperature. I know it's hot. It's always hot here in Florida. It is 67 degrees right now in Manatee County, Florida. Is Honey Dip in the house? Honey Dip, it's nice to see you. Double shot of Ash, it's nice to see you as well. Amelia, good morning. Nero, it's nice to see you. Pebbles, I don't think I said hi to you. Stephanie, good morning. I hope you guys are doing great. We are in the season of eggnog and peppermint mocha. Ooh, 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 ooh. Betty's a love machine. So if you guys haven't hit that love machine, hit that love machine. Because I'm a love machine. Ow! All right, guys, it's nice to see you. Unhit Vicky by mistake. Puppy jumped on me. Oh, excuses. We know. See, Vicky, my mods are just being mean to you for no reason. Look at that. Just booting you out. That's okay. I got the whip. Hold on, let me find the whip. There we go. Don't say I never did nothing for you. Hey, plant lady, it's nice to see you. Oh, Phil's breaking it down for us. She's teaching us. Look at that. Times 9/5. I think that would be an equation. Plus 32. So it would be 38 degrees. Oh, wow. So your Celsius is like our freezing point, I guess is probably the best way to describe it. Well, hi there, Miss Delilah. Hi. We're not quite done yet. We still got a long ways to go. Come here. Everybody wants to see you. Then you can get down. Come on. Come. There you go. Say hi, guys. My mommy's still my favorite mommy. She still loves me. Lots. I wake her up with a whole bunch of kisses. Oh, I lost my baby teeth. I'm a big girl now. I lost my final baby teeth. I'm a big girl now. All right. Thank you, Miss Delilah. Thank you. Have a great day. Yes. So if you guys don't know, one thing I found out about Chihuahuas is they don't like losing their teeth. Apparently, I got a very, very expensive bill. We started out with like 8 baby teeth. They say the teeth should be out by like 9-10 months. In Chihuahuas, it's not like that. And I'm going to say that. I'm going to say it just like that because they don't tell you that. It's not like that in Chihuahuas. They tell you that the teeth stay in their mouth and they can cause all this root problems and stuff like that. I don't believe it. I think they just take a little longer to lose all of their teeth because many of my old-time friends just said, just leave it be, because I got a bill of like $750 to pull all of her baby teeth, when they weren't coming out. And then slowly but surely, they started falling out, and it was another 6 months before, and we were down to the 2 fang teeth on the top. Every other tooth fell out except the 2 fang teeth. And I'm just like, well, and Glenn's like, I'm like, man, this is going to be expensive. I've got to go there. I don't want her to go under anesthesia twice. I want to be able to get her teeth and her spayed, before before she gets too old and they start rotting or causing her stuff. And Glenn kept telling me, they'll come out on their own. Don't worry about it. They'll come out. Well, many of you guys know she's almost 2 years old. Like she's got about 18 months old. She's about 18 months old. And she finally got the last 2 teeth. And when the fangs came out, the one fang was loose and I checked her other one. It was still very hard and in there. But by the end of the day, her other fang tooth, I just happened to look and it was gone. I don't know where it went. I don't know. I got the one. I was able to get the one out of her because it was loose enough that I could just, touch it and it just fell in my hand. But the other one was still there and she ended up, so those 2 came out on the exact same day. So it tells me that her body, that it's something with the smaller dogs. So don't freak out. If you have a dog that has teeth that aren't coming out, I would give it at least until 18 months. I don't care what the dentist or the doctors say, but she's got no dental issues. She's got no gum issues. She's got no, root issues like they were trying to tell me that they would have. She probably, or she spit it out outside, because we play the ball and I could see, gnawing kind of on the corner of the ball. And I think she lost one of her teeth outside and I wasn't paying attention to it. But I wanted a fang, I wanted a molar, and I wanted a fang. I would have liked one of her little flat teeth, but I got a molar and I got a fang tooth from her. So I'm happy with that. I just wanted to keep some of her baby teeth because that's what I do. I keep my doggy's baby teeth. So she's got her baby teeth. But now she's a big girl, so she's officially no more puppy. She's no more puppy. She finally lost them all. She did, and so she's just cute. She's just cute, and I can't tell a difference because I thought they would bother her or be painful, but they weren't. That's what made me think that they're just not telling us that with the smaller dogs. I think it truly just takes a little longer for them to lose all their teeth. And so don't freak out and don't go spend a boatload of money on getting their teeth extracted because I was about to drop like $700. Okay, folks, it's not cheap to have teeth pulled from a dog. Okay, they got to put them under anesthesia. I don't know why it costs so much. It's more expensive to have dog teeth pulled than it is for human teeth pulled. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But I digress. Well, the $750 was with the spade as well. So, but it was like $500. She had 8 teeth that needed to be extracted. And within the first 3 months of that bill, she lost every single one of the teeth except the 2 fangs. And I'm like, yeah. And Glenn just kept saying, they'll fall out on their own. Don't worry about it. They'll fall out. Just leave them be. So I kept grinning and bearing, and I'm like, well, I don't have the money to go get them extracted anyways. I was going to, but so I waited, and then all of a sudden they came out, and I'm like, phew. I'm not gonna lie, I'm like, whew, one less bill, right? One less bill. It made me feel better. But the crazy thing is I've looked this case. Law enforcement stopped communicating on this case. Law enforcement's no longer eager to find out where Melodee is. No longer eager to have this woman go to jail, no longer eager to go to the courts and demand to find this child. They're no longer eager. So something changed. And I think what changed is they realized that this child is okay. I truly believe with everything that the FBI has put eyes on this child. The FBI is not going to tell the public that they put eyes on this child. Now, if law enforcement put eyes on this child, they would be the ones to tell us. But I don't think the FBI is. I think the FBI has determined that this child is with whoever Melodee, because they just went too quiet. They went radio silent. I'm sorry, I know law enforcement too well. If they were still concerned about the safety of this child, they would still be kicking up a fuss. They haven't been kicking up a fuss since before the 7th, since before this woman was arrested on these trumped up charges. And now that this has been dropped, the ankle monitor has been pulled off of her. She is free to move about. You don't hear them pushing anymore for Melodee. Where's Melodee? Where's Melodee? Where's Melodee? You don't hear nothing. It's been over 40 days, and we don't know. All of a sudden, law enforcement has no urgency anymore for Ashlee Buzzard. I am just shocked. I'm just shocked. And you know what? They're waiting. And you see that mainstream media is moving on, because typically how it works is they just move on, and within 2 weeks, everybody's going to forget about Ashlee Buzzard's case. Everybody's going to forget about Ashlee Buzzard. In a couple weeks, we're not even going to be speaking about them. The case is just going to magically go away, and nobody's going to ever know what happened, because law enforcement had no rights to being in this woman's life, turning this whole entire thing upside down. And then as soon as they realize they were wrong, they just quietly go away, and that's it. We hear nothing more about it. We see nothing more about it.
This is only a test.
Sorry. Apparently, I have my control panel entirely too close to my hands, and my hands move entirely too much. But now that we have you guys all in here, don't forget, those that are just coming in that weren't here earlier today, we will be going over the 2 videos that Nick the Hat put out yesterday. He had one. He was having some technical issues, but it was still great information. They had Julie Grant on there and everything like that. So if you guys haven't been over to Nick the Hat's show yet, please get over to Nick the Hat and watch that. I could not believe he was able to get Julie Grant from Court TV on his show. And, kudos to, Nick the Hat for being able to do that, and to talk about the most horrific case in our history. And this is before the Idaho 4. This was the shocking case out of Ohio where every time I say I forget his name, and probably for good reasons. I don't ever want to remember his name, but it's something Castro. Lisa B always reminded us the first time. I don't know why it leaves my head, but I don't want to say his name. I'd rather not. But you guys know he took 3 people, 3 girls off the road in Ohio, and he kept them as slaves in his dungeon and wouldn't let them out. And finally, one of the survivors broke through the door, and a neighbor, a black neighbor, saw her, and she was begging to have him help her get out. And she uses a neighbor's phone and calls law enforcement and says, "I'm Michelle Berry," I think that's her name, Berry, and I've been missing for 10 years, and I'm alive. I'm here. I'm okay. Ariel Castro. And they ended up tearing down the house. Well, the black man that saved her, that helped her get out of that house, well, Nick the Hat had that man on his show, Amanda Berry. Why do I got all the, because Michelle DeSuze, that's why. I'm starting to cross-mingle their names. Thank you so much for the help, Lisa. I appreciate it. And we just watched it last night. Why I I can't remember these names. I don't know. But I feel like I'm getting a little senile in my old age. But hey, whatever. I've been dealing with a lot of back pain too, which might have a lot to do with it. I've been dealing with a lot of pain. But I'm hoping that this is kind of winding down. But it didn't help me getting up and down the ladder, putting those damn lights up. That about killed me. So anyways, so Nick had these people on and was talking about it, and he had Mr. and Mrs. E Crimecast, Mr. E Crimecast, Crime Dogs, on, and they ended up having a great conversation. I ended up having to leave and go get a shower. I thought everything had went away, and so I got up and it was there 1 minute and then it was gone the next, and so I didn't think anything of it. So I get up, I figured I must have missed the ending of it, and so I got showered and started getting ready for the winding down for the evening. And I was going to jump back on and just say, hi, guys. Hopefully you guys got a chance to see Nick's stuff. And when I went on there, I realized Nick was live again. And I'm like, what? And I was so confused. I'm like, I thought this was off. I thought it was over. I'm so confused. So I pop it in there and I'm like, well, I said, I'm sorry. I was gone for a second. I said, I'm really sorry. But they're like, oh, no, it's okay. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Again, you guys know I've been I've been questioning my whether I'm remembering stuff, because since this whole shoulder thing, me and my best friend had a conversation. I forgot the whole entire conversation. I think it was because I was in excruciating pain. I was just in a lot of pain. I've been in a lot of muscular pain here over the last couple weeks, and long story short, it scared me because she calls me on a Tuesday. She's like, breakfast is almost ready. Are you coming? And I'm like, so I'm just packing up everything and rushing to her house, but I couldn't remember what the hell I was going to her house for, in the middle of the week for. And I always go to her house on Saturday. That's our play date. And she says, because I was talking to her the night before about the pain I was in. I was in excruciating pain. And she said, I've got these OTC patches and come over here before you go and buy your own box. Come over here and grab a couple and try them and see if they work for you. And if they work, then go out and buy yourself. She says that they worked for her. So I'm like, okay, so that's what I was going over there. But I forgot the whole conversation. And I know it's because I was in a lot of pain. But, we're fast forwarding. Now I'm really questioning a lot of stuff because it's like, that's some days in my head, okay? That's just some days. And I'm hoping that you guys are the same way so I don't feel like I'm all lonely over here. I'm so glad to hear it's not just me. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So we're not alone. Okay. That's what I'm just saying. So anyways, this I think they're going to wait for this to just die out. They're going to give this 2 weeks. I think nothing has it's been 2 days. This was a hot and heavy case where all mainstream media were on this case. We were the only channel that was like, wait a minute, this is government overreach, And then I go to my county meeting where I get into that pissing fight with my county commissioner, George Cruz, and we're talking about government overreach. Like I get a call from one of the attorneys saying, hey, I heard your statement, that you said, but I feel like this is government overreach, even though you said that these are children and they don't have any rights. And I'm like, well, I'm not that invested, which I'm not. I would like parents to, not have their children out running the streets at night, but, making parents be parents is a task in and of itself. And there are just so many even in Lakewood Ranch, like there's parents out there that are arguing why their children should be in the street at 10 o'clock. Like you guys, any parent that's arguing why their children should be in the streets at 10 o'clock at night, you guys are shitty parents, okay? I don't care whether you have a lot of money or not. You're shitty fucking parents, okay? Your children should not be in the middle of the freaking street at 10 o'clock at night on a school night. I'm sorry. If you think that that's okay in our society this day and age, you're a shitty parent. Okay? You want to have your children out at, do whatever on the weekends? Fine. But kids under the age of 15 do not need to be running the streets at 10 o'clock at night. Okay? Sorry, not sorry. Okay? I'm not going to sit here and kowtow because it might hurt somebody's feelings. If you're okay with your child being out at 10 o'clock on a weekday, running the streets with their friends, you, my friend, are a shitty parent. If you don't like it, quit being a shitty parent. Nothing good happens out on those streets at night unsupervised. Nothing. Even your little sweet angel child, okay? Sorry, not sorry. 16, going to jobs, have a car, they have responsibility. Okay. Okay, you got your child has a little more responsibility. That's fine. But there's no child that needs to be out in the street during the weeknight after 10 p.m. There's just none. Send me an email with one good excuse. If I can find one good excuse why a child needs to be running up and down the streets at 10 o'clock at night, I will read it here on my channel and apologize for my statement. I will read it here on this channel and apologize for my statement. You can send that to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Just saying. Just saying. You may not like what I'm saying. Although I said I'm not going to really be covering the Kada Scott case, which I'm not. I said I would give some updates on her case as it is found, as it starts coming out. And I just wanted to say, because it's very, very sweet, the family has launched a foundation in Kada's honor on her 24th birthday. It's so sad that this beautiful, talented young lady never got to make it to her 24th birthday. And she was snuffed out by a guy that should have been in jail. And they reelected the same DA that allowed this man to walk free to kill their daughter. So there is that. So I'll just end with that. But God bless the family. I wish you guys would have voted differently. Maybe you guys would still have your daughter. I don't know what to say. I'm going to keep saying what I say. People are just going to have to keep being pissed off about it. I really don't care. So we're going into Alec Murdaugh. Alec Murdaugh is a case that we have. Here it is.
Caller Zone 1. Shares attached.
Sorry, I'm trying to get it to stop. There we go. This is the case of Alec Murdaugh, and he is accused of a lot of things, okay? He's accused of being a shitty husband. He's accused of being a shitty father. He's accused of murdering his wife and his youngest son. He's accused of murdering his wife and his youngest son and staging the scene to look like somebody else did it. His son was in a boat wreck. That boat wreck resulted in the death of a young, beautiful woman, 18-year-old girl. He was being sued by the family. It was just about to get into where he was required to turn over his financial documentation. He did not want to turn over his financial documentation because it would uncover this house of cards of financial laundering, conspiracy, just fraud against his clients, against anybody that trusted him. He went and got huge settlements for his clients and then talked them into signing paperwork and basically signing that money over to him, giving him his money, the money. And he's going and living this lavish lifestyle on the backs of his clients' money. They lost people. That was the money that they were going to live to get on, to get through the rest of their life. People had millions of dollars squandered from them, and they were left destitute by Alec Murdaugh. And then when this boating accident happened and they were wanting those financials, well, it was going to uncover a trove of fraud. And it was going to be something bigger. So in an effort to change and sway the minds, so he didn't go to prison, he ended up taking his wife and son out for the sympathy. He thought if he took his wife and son out, that there's no way the courts or the juries would ever, give the Beach family money because they were feeling so grieved. He was setting this up to make it look like because of this settlement, his son died. So this is him. He didn't even act right then because he was so high out of his gorge this night. He was pilled up and God knows what else he had on him. And he was probably even taking more than he would normally take because he was panicking, you know, of what happened. And so it took a long time to build this case with the Murdaugh, but we do have some updates. But I want you guys to see this first, just to bring you back to where we were.
Central 717 scene is secured. Got a Whiskey Fox, Whiskey Mike, both gunshot wounds to the head.
Sir, I want to let you know because of the scene, I did go get a gun and bring it down here.
It's in your vehicle? Do you have any guns on you at all?
No, sir. It's leaning up against the side of my car.
Okay. You're fine, man. You're fine. Turn around for me.
I don't have any.
Okay. Yes, sir. I see that. Okay. This is your wife and son?
And son.
Okay.
It's bad. It's bad. Check the pulses.
Yes, sir.
So you're hearing him crying, blah, blah, blah. Now, I have witnessed many parents that have seen their child in a deceased form. And I'm going to tell you I've seen parents throw themselves down on the floor, just lose it. He's by far one of the more calm members that I've ever seen dealing with a situation like this. For example, I was just watching a video yesterday of a little 11-year-old boy. His father, they were of Hispanic descent, a white guy driving in another car. The Hispanic family did something to the white guy, the white driver, and created this road rage incident where the white guy shot his gun out of the car in the direction of the other vehicle, and he ended up shooting and unaliving an 11-year-old boy in this road rage incident. That father, in the middle of the road, cars passing, everything, literally throws himself down on the ground, would not get up. My son's dead. My son's dead. I can't believe this. You took, just grief. Just grief. Now, granted, it's an 11-year-old boy, but grief is grief. You lose and you see your own child's. I mean, you got to understand what Alec Murdaugh was saying in these clips to these officers. Like, he was looking at his son's matter. The whole entire brain, the whole brain was, from my understanding, on the ground, out of the head. So, I don't know. It seems to me that he would have had, in my opinion, I'm just trying to express that it just seems to me that he would have been in a lot more shock. He would have been acting a lot more erratic, crazy. Like I would, like that guy that lost a 11-year-old child, throwing himself on the ground and just, slobbering all over himself, just grieving, Like, this man is just he's too put together for the scene, in my opinion. And I remember thinking that back when I first saw this, we did go on to the property. Can't really see a whole lot here. I'll let you see a little bit more, and then we'll go to a different aspect of it.
This is the firearm you brought from inside the house?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I went and this is a long story. My son was in a boat wreck.
See, now he's going into convincing language and all this other stuff. And he's trying to convince while they're here. And this is where it doesn't make sense. And I don't see how in the world he would have been able to put this all together. But this was his story that he got. And it made sense to Mr. Murdaugh. But it didn't really make sense to everybody else, because it just seems like if it was somebody else, why kill the mom, right? Why not just Paul? Why not just Paul? Or Alec, for that matter. Alec was the one that was being sued. He was the one fighting them tooth and nail for the money. He was at home. Why didn't they just off him? Why was it the wife, not him? It doesn't make sense. None of this actually made sense, and why a lot of people believed he was responsible. We'll play this and then we'll get on.
Months back, he's been getting threats. Most of it's been benign stuff we didn't take serious.
Okay.
You know, he's been getting like punched. I know that's somebody. I know that's what it is.
Paul was a drunk. Paul was a drunk, and every time he got drunk, he got into fights. He was seen slapping his own girlfriend. He was a very violent kid that the parents let run wild. Okay, the parents, Alec Murdaugh and his wife, both of them, not to be rude. I mean, we're just talking about the truth, right? And at the end of the day, his wife was responsible too. Okay, she allowed Paul to get drunk, run things over with his truck. They didn't care. They didn't care. Paul ended up killing somebody over his alcohol. It was just a matter of time. This family did not care. They didn't care about the repercussions. They didn't care. This was not just Alec. This was the whole fucking the whole blessed family. The whole blessed family.
Okay. When did you get home? Right when you called, or did you go to the house first? Where is the house?
I came to the house first. My mom has late stages Alzheimer's, and my dad is in the hospital. Okay. I left. I don't know what time. I can go back on my phone and tell you the exact times. Did you check?
Okay. Did I check what?
Did you check them?
We got medical guys that are that's what they're gonna do. Okay.
What are they doing? Can they hurry?
They are. Yes, sir. That gentleman that was out here already, he's one of the battalion chiefs. Okay.
And I just want to remind you, like, he's standing over his wife and son, and, you know, he just keeps looking back toward them. You know, he's adamant about wanting to make sure that they're called, you know, make sure that they're called. So that was kind of the chaotic part in all of this. And apparently I didn't have this set up yet either. Where's my Gates? My Gates one, there it is. And this, I didn't even have a whole lot of information. When I first went out to this case, I didn't know what I was dealing with. Give it just a second. Okay, let me refresh this. I'm having some tech issues. There we go. I didn't have a whole lot of information about this case when I first went there. Like, I knew that Alec Murdaugh was this brilliant attorney that everybody knew out in this area, that, you know, he was accused of committing homicide of his wife and son. And we were starting to tell the story, and I went out there, but I didn't even know where they were allegedly, or people thought that they would be. So when I went out there and I was looking, I realized that everything that I was looking at was wrong. The only thing I really got right was where Paul was, because it was very obvious, but I could not figure out where, because that video I just showed you had not been released yet. So it had not been released yet, and we had no idea where Maggie's body was. Well, after I was out there and went behind the gates, of course, we learned where the body was, and it wasn't where I was thinking it was. It was closer. It was basically, Paul was right here. Maggie was trying to get the birds or Buster from, you know, one of the birds in Buster's mouth. And he shoots Paul, and you can see she must have just come running. And as she was running, he turned and ended up taking her out too. And she dropped right there on the outside of the barn. I thought she was over by the tree line, and she wasn't over by the tree line. She was just right catty corner from the room that Paul was, you know, unalived at. So. And this was his trial. This was when he was going there for a murder trial.
Did you look your son and your wife in their eyes when you did it?
Why did you kill your wife and your
Bullhorn
son?
Betty wants to know, is your grandfather and your father proud of you?
Alex.
Hey guys, so I'm in Low County, South Carolina. Right behind
Low
me
Country
is Alec Murdaugh's home.
You guys don't need to keep correcting me because I've been corrected. How old is this movie or this video? This video is over 2 years old, okay? So all you Low Country, it's not Low County, it's Low Country. We know, okay? Just calm down. Calm down. We know.
Home here in the country. Right there. Right behind me. This is where he murdered his wife and his son, allegedly. He is currently facing charges, multiple charges of fraud, scheming to defraud his clients, scheming to, it's possible that he murdered his own housekeeper that he had for over a couple decades downstairs at another home. This here is the home that he murdered his wife and son. As you see, here is the home. I am sitting out in front of their country home. If you guys remember, his wife was going to meet him at the hospital, and Alec texted her and said, meet him here first. So she actually texted a friend and said she thought he was up to something. She didn't understand why she needed to meet him out here and then go to the hospital. Now, this is some 30 minutes away from town. So this would be 30 minutes away from, or even longer than that, away from the hospital that they needed to go to. And that's where they were going to actually meet. But something happened. Something happened, and he chose to get her out here, where he ended up killing her. Then his son came, and he murdered him as well. Now, there is a possibility that his son came here first and was executed first.
This was back when we had no earthly idea about this. Since this, we've had the trial. We've been at the trial. You guys just saw the beginning of this when we were out front of that. That was the trial for Paul and Maggie. When I was screaming out there, you could hear Jonathan's voice in the back. We ended up covering that case and the auction, But we were there from the beginning, and these details weren't known. But what we did learn through the trial is that Alec Murdaugh, it sounds like everybody was out there, was Alec, Paul, and Maggie. And it sounds like Alec had hidden 2 guns next to the shed, and he took one and shot Paul and then grabbed the other one and shot his wife. That is what the evidence states. So it happened all together at the same time. And he was caught, thank God. Thank God, thank God, thank God. Had anybody else been in charge, remember, his family was the one in charge. If had it been any other time in the history of this county, this would have been swept under the rug or blamed on somebody else. But there had just been a major change in the political environment in this county where the Murdaughs weren't running the show anymore. And as soon as that, the house of cards crumbled.
And then his wife. I'm very sketchy on those details, so I will swap this out when I research this a little bit more related to the timing of death.
So there you guys have it.
We are out here in Low County, and I'm standing out in front of Alex Murdaugh's home. And it's on a large piece of real estate here. It's very quiet out here. Not a whole lot of traffic, nothing. Now, granted, this is Sunday afternoon, but it's very peaceful, very quiet, very desolate. A perfect place, a perfect opportunity. So as I cover this case over the next day or two, please stay with me. Follow me on the Bullhorn Betty channel, like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you have any questions, want me to go look at something, let me know in the comments. I will be reading them.
That is one thing many people don't understand is most of you guys have been watching me through the Sebastian Rogers case, came to me because of the Sebastian Rogers case, and you guys didn't realize what we did prior to. We go out to the scene, okay? This is a little bit different. It's a little bit an uncomfortable place that I've been in for the last couple years for covering the Sebastian Rogers case, where, this has cost a lot of legal expenses. After this, it'll be all over about the crime because we're going to be getting out and going to all the cases back in front row again. But this is what you're supporting on this channel. We get out there in the field and try to find the answers. And we also take you guys on front row. For example, when we were in Tennessee covering the Summer Wells case, we went back up for an update, and you guys had me drive here and drive there. You were like, I want to go check this area. We were searching for a summer, and people wanted to go to a dam and look at a dam. So guess what we did? We got you in a car and took you guys on the road. We didn't kill the cameras, nothing. You guys went for the ride with us, and we went to the dam and searched the dam. And so that's kind of what we like to do, if I can take you guys along with me. But we are going to have to upgrade systems. Obviously, my Apple phone overheats when I'm out in the field. I can't go live on my Apple phone, so the Apple phone's got to be replaced. So we do have a Samsung that stays. That's what this one is. This is my button pusher. See, my button. Why isn't it not? So we'll be going on the Samsung, but I gave up my my hotspot box. I stopped paying for it because the last few times that I tried to use it, it wasn't working like I needed it to work. So we are going to end up having to upgrade to a Starlink. And we're going to have to take the Starlink Mini with us. And the Starlink Mini is going to cost about $200 just to get. And it's going to be anywhere between $50 and $165 per month to run it. So obviously not a huge undertaking, but it doesn't have to be every month. We can do month to month. So the months that we know we're going to be out in the field, I'll pay for the $165 worth of service to go out and run the show. But then the other months we'll just have it at $50. But since we're not paying for our streaming service anymore, and I'm building the show on an open source program, OBS, it's saving us that $40 a month that we were paying for StreamYard. So it is going to end up coming out. I need to set up Starlink. Yeah, so I think that's what we're going to end up having to do is go with Starlink. Then we won't have to worry about it anymore. We'll have a satellite. The other option I do have is going to T-Mobile. And instead of getting an Apple phone, getting a Samsung, and start making the conversion now, and that comes with the satellite already built into that service. If you guys don't know, T-Mobile right now is having some major sales, and they have the $100 plan that has the satellite built into it. So you can use your phone literally anywhere in the country, in the middle of nowhere. And that's used through Starlight or Starlink. And but it's or at least I think it's through Starlink, but it's satellite internet. And so anyways, that would be the other thing. But I think I'm going to want the standalone machine because it comes with the 250 megabits per second upload and download speed. And that's going to be what I need. I can't do 30. I can't do cheap hotel crap. Okay. It kills me every time I'm on the road, and it takes me a freaking hour to upload a 15-minute video to you guys. Okay. It is literally like the only thing I can do is go live, and then my phone's dying because it's overheating. So every time anytime I'm out in the field right now, everything goes wrong that can possibly go wrong. We'll get Starlink if it comes to Britain. Is that UK? Yeah. Well, I'm sure it's got to be coming somewhere. I mean, it's Elon Musk's company. I can't imagine it not. I mean, he's worldwide. He's not United States. You know, he's not us. Aw, hey, dreaming blue skies and sandy beaches. Happy Thanksgiving to you, too. Tangled Cords, it's nice to see you. Brenda Sue, good morning. Nero, I think I said hi to you, but I can't remember. All right, let's get back to this.
This is what is behind. Nobody's around. Now, granted, there is a house right here.
That's part of their property.
Close,
that's part of their property.
No
that's
matter what happens, this is
that's their hunting
wooded
cabinets.
area. So hearing some gunshots being fired is probably not uncommon out
Jenny.
here. You know, this is the country. So I'm going to go try to find out where he resides, where the housekeeper lost her life. I don't believe it's here because we heard that she fell down stairs, and this is a single-story home. It looks like it's rustic. It looks like it's country. I'm unsure why he has this. This does not appear to be a property he would want to have with his upscale lifestyle and such. So we're still on the hunt for answers. We're still trying to piece this puzzle together. What happened to Alec Murdaugh? I was like, I was kind of, but if you're
now it's just switched over. So as I was leaving from doing that little skit, a car pulled behind me, and it was a very large older man, but he was a big guy, but you could tell he was, he's a grandpa, right? And so I was sitting there talking to him. I didn't know if he was a fan, whatever. I just pulled up behind me. I'm like, hi, I'm so-and-so. Who are you? Okay, well, I was just coming out here to film. He's like, I'm going on the property. And I'm like, you are? Uh-huh. Okay, well, what will happen if you get caught? He's like, I know the sheriff. Nothing's going to happen. I'm like, I'm following you. I'm going to follow you.
I'm gonna go.
I'm going up there. I've been out here a million times.
Have you? Now, where did he actually live?
Back there, you go the gated entrance and you drive straight.
And that's the main house?
Yeah, well, that is the house. You can't see it from the road.
Oh, okay.
But these metal gates were just put up after the murders.
Gotcha.
Anybody could have driven in any time.
Gotcha. Wow. Well, it's awfully quiet out here. I'm from Florida. What do you know about the area? How's this affected the community?
Oh, Walterboro? Carlton County, not that much. Hampton County, which is across the river, nobody will talk about it.
Gotcha.
41, 47, both down there. Yeah, you're not recording me, I hope.
No, I'm keeping you out.
Okay.
I'm keeping you out. See, I got it going straight, but I've kept you out for purposes of
Yeah, my wife, she would not help me do this. So.
I just have, I guess, right place at the right time. Because I remember reading the articles, and the wife apparently texted a friend saying something's not right because they were supposed to go to the hospital to.
That's all baloney.
That's all baloney. What did you hear?
Baloney. I happened to talk to one of the nurses that took care of the mother. Mm-hmm. She was on duty Sunday night, 24 hours before the murders. And Alec and Maggie were there in Alameda. When I say Alameda, do you know what that means?
No.
Alameda is where the parents live.
Oh, okay.
It's south of Varnville.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with this area at all.
That's where he drove and spent 15, 20 minutes and then drove back.
Gotcha.
And the nurse said, Alec and Maggie were there. She wasn't afraid to be with him. Mm-hmm. And they even, don't tell anybody, but they, Randolph, who died 3 days later, wanted Krispy Kreme donuts. You know what those are?
Yes.
Well, there's none in Varnville on a Sunday night. So Alec and Maggie drove all the way to Charleston and back. Now, she was afraid to be with him. She wouldn't have spent 5 hours in a car driving through the backwoods. I'm going to be dangerous.
Okay. I'll follow you. What's the worst that can happen? We get a ticket?
Nothing. Like I say, I know the sheriff. I've known him for 30 years.
Nice.
He knows the sheriff's known him for 30 years. I'm following you.
My wife would kill me if I was doing this.
Don't worry. I never asked your name. And I'm keeping your face out of it. I
Anyway,
just
all the
appreciate
rumors
it.
about her being afraid to be with Alex is baloney.
Yeah.
Wow. Stop right there. I'm going to get a picture of all this.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
No.
There's the area right there. It's hard to believe. They have all these cabins and hunting, buildings on here. It's a huge property. I think they said 1,700 acres, 1,600 acres, something like that.
Where were they actually found?
Well, these are the kennels.
Uh-huh.
See that little white door?
Yeah.
That's it.
Wow. Okay, I'll let you take your photo and then I'll go walk. Did they used to have a lot of animals?
Yeah, hunting dogs.
Wow. What game do they hunt around here? Deer?
Oh yeah, there's deer, but mainly doves. Doves are mainly dove dogs.
Oh, gotcha.
Dove hunting.
I'm not opening the door.
No.
It's all been replaced anyway.
Yeah, but I'm not going to touch anything, but I don't mind recording. So that's it. Right there.
Right there.
That's where they found him.
And his father was just, he just wasn't acting right. He just wasn't acting right. He wasn't acting normal for what we were dealing with out there, I mean, he should have, you're talking about his wife that he's known since school, high school sweethearts, built a life, had 2 children with, and he's just worried about letting them know that he's got his gun right there by his truck, that he actually saw this and had thought to run back to the house and get a gun. Nobody does that. Think about it. You see your child lifeless, you run to your child. You don't even think about, your brain is not even thinking about, is a threat there. You don't even think about that, folks. You don't even think about that. Hey, Lori, it's nice to see you, love. Oh, no, she was sad. I don't know what that's about. I'm kind of coming in the middle of the conversation.
That's where they found Paul. This is where they found Paul.
That's where they
Where
found
did they
Paul.
find the wife?
30 yards away, 100 feet away.
Oh, wow. So Paul was in there, not her.
There. So her body was out there.
So he's saying her body's out there, but it wasn't. It wasn't. It was actually behind me. It's behind
30
me.
yards, 100. That's almost 100 feet.
It was right. If I can, there's Paul's truck right there. They kept it there. It just stayed under there. They didn't do anything with it. They just left it there. That's the hangar that they had a plane.
No. I appreciate it.
That was a plane hangar where his truck is. Right, kind of where I'm back this way. This is kind of where that's on the opposite side of this. I don't have an aerial of this area, but I missed the whole spot. Let me see if I got it.
As black as you can be.
Yeah, I bet it was kind of scary driving here because I didn't know, once you're.
Oh, we're already heading back to the gate. So I didn't quite get it. I didn't quite get it, but where Maggie was, but she was over on the other side. She wasn't at the hangar. She was in the building right in front of the hangar where Paul's truck was. That building, that's where she was. So anyways, getting back to this, I got a little story to tell you guys. We're going to get into the updates on Alec Murdaugh here in just a second. Let me get all this. Of course, it's the... let me take this off because I don't like all these publications, they just litter them with advertisement. It just lags the system down, something fierce. Okay, let's just take that off. Hopefully that'll fix it. At the end of the day, that was kind of the story. This whole situation, it's really convoluted because there's so many details that bring us to this point. You know, it was the money laundering and the fraud, and then it was the accident on the boat that killed Mallory Beach, and then the Beach family suing the Murdaugh family, and then them getting down to the discovery aspect where he needs to turn over all bank statements and accounting and stuff, and it was going to expose this fraudulent forge account that where he was laundering all of his clients' money and stealing it so he could pad his lavish lifestyle and his drug addiction. And it was that close to his whole entire house of cards falling in on him, and he took his family out for the sympathy aspect of it to try to salvage himself. And then he tries to play this off, and then he has Eddie try to put a bullet in his head region area in another attempt for sympathy. Or I don't think he was ever trying to be executed. I think he was trying to just have an injury to show that somebody's trying to unalive him as well. None of the story made sense. It kept going from crazy to crazier, and all of this time, it's just one big setup to try to convince the public that somebody's after him and his family from the Mallory Beach side. So when he went to court, he would have the sympathy of the jury. It's insane. He didn't want people knowing he was this fraudster. He was about to go to jail forever. I don't even think his family knew how bad it was. All of this, the family unalivers, it always comes down to this financial issue that was kept from the family, right? We saw it in the Tot case that Anthony Tot, he unalives his entire family, including the family dog, Breezy, because he was under federal indictment for fraud. He was his whole house of cards were falling in on him. Every single family annihilator I've met, it always comes out to this huge lie that's about to come crashing down on them. And they can't let their family know. And they take their whole entire family out so their family never knows how devious they were. It's just, it's disgusting, but that's the family annihilator. And that is what I think Alec is a family annihilator. He annihilated his family. Had Buster been there, I believe Buster would have been taken out as well. Buster, from my understanding, couldn't be there because he had some school or something going on that his father actually invited him to be there that weekend, and he could not make it. So it sounds like even his father would have taken his oldest son out had his oldest son been there. They're gone, Alec, distinctly of Southern drawl, said on the phone, his voice almost cold-like, trembling, cracking with emotion. It took some time for Blanca Simpson to realize what exactly her employer, longtime friend, was telling her. So this is the statements from the new housekeeper after Gloria Satterfield lost her life. And this was about this is right after Alec had murdered his wife and son. So I dropped the phone, she told the Daily Mail. I didn't understand what was going on. I couldn't grasp it. I was in shock. A few hours earlier on the night of June 7th, 2021, 52-year-old Maggie Murdaugh and her 22-year-old son, Paul Murdaugh, had been shot dead at the kennels, the dog kennels, on the powerful legal family sprawling 17,000, I thought it was 1,700, but they've got it in here, a 17,000 acre Moselle estate in Inlandstown, South Carolina. It's in Colton County, South Carolina. For more than a decade, Simpson had been part of the Murdaugh family. Was their longtime housekeeper and had done some work with the Murdaugh at the law firm. But she was also much more than that. She was one of Maggie's best friends and confidants. She had seen the couple's son grow up. She had supported them when much of the community turned their back on their family after Paul was involved with the boat crash that killed Mallory Beach, etc., etc., etc. And so it was a role that placed her in a unique position to notice some glaring signs that just didn't add up. More than a year later, in March 2023, Murdaugh was convicted of the murder of in a high-profile trial where prosecutors laid out the devastating story of how the legal dynasty heir killed his wife and son. She apparently wrote a book within the house of the Murdaugh. I don't know how I feel about that, but, I get it. She's lost her employment, her longtime employment. She needs, something, and maybe it'll be made into a movie one day. Who knows? I just don't agree with the whole thing, the whole tell-all, but who knows? I'm not in that position. I am a journalist, so if I was put in that position when I write a book, of course I would. These accomplices might not have known about the plot, what they were about to get caught up in, she said, but she believes that they met him at the kennel after the murders to help him clean up and stage the scene. So she believes there were other people there and involved. These accomplices likely entered the Moselle undetected through one of two back entrance made up of narrow roads and trails, she said. A few people knew that those hidden entrances to the sprawling property, she said. Most only knew of the main entrance off of Moselle. So she's talking about a secondary entrance into the property that people could come undetected, and she does believe people actually helped him, and it was most likely his family because they're a very powerful family, and that appears what she's implying. While the tale of the Murdaugh spectacular downfall continues to fuel speculation, Simpson's beliefs are not based on rumor or local gossip. Rather, they're based on observations of someone on the scene soon after the murders and with unique insight into the habits of the family she doted on. So it's very interesting, a very interesting article out of the Daily Mail describing what had happened that day. And based on the timeline presented at trial using cars and cell phone data, Simpson believes it would not have been possible for Murdaugh to have driven her car to the house. Others, this detail seemed insignificant, but to me, it seemed crucial. Overlooked clue suggesting he had assistance. So she's pushing the assistance that there was other people involved, and you know what? I can't dispute that because let's face it, they were over at the Alec Murdaugh, the grandfather's house, taking guns out of the house. Like they are moving around a whole bunch of guns. They're mixing them all up, and they're doing it for a purpose. I absolutely believe it, and it was Buster, it was all of his brothers, everybody was over at the mother's house. You could see it on a camera of them literally removing the guns out of that house. Now, that night, guns were placed on that property somewhere, okay? They were, because he stops at the front of the road for 2 solid minutes. That was identified in the court records. 2 solid minutes. That was enough for him to run into the woods as he was exiting his mom's property to stash something. Then his family comes over there with a bunch of trucks and starts taking all the guns out of his parents' house. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. But I I think she's onto something with the accomplices. I've thought the Murdaugh family, that's why I went down their throat when I realized Paul and Maggie still hadn't had a headstone, yet Grandpa did. That was bullshit. So, anyways, Murdaugh must have hosed the blood off himself down at the kennel, then grabbed a towel to dry himself off, changing into a freshly laundered t-shirt when the officers arrived, and I agree with that. And he had already left the property, from my understanding, and returned at that time. So he would have gotten rid of all of the evidence. While Murdaugh later confessed to a string of financial crimes, he continues to claim his innocence for the murders, which none of us actually believe. So it's going to be interesting. Apparently, the homemaker actually has a book that is now being released about her time with the Murdaugh family. So we'll see how all of that works out for them. But that's really what I have for today about the Murdaugh. There was a Hulu, if you guys have a subscription to Hulu. The Hulu video is out, and it depicts Alec as this horrible manipulator, narcissistic pig, which he is. And of course, you know, his attorneys as well as him are in the process of trying to relitigate or re-prosecute the murder trial. They're going back for a new trial. I don't know if he'll get it, but with the clerk doing what she did, he has better prospects than I'd like. Okay. One of the real reasons why I like pit bulls for defense attorneys is because it limits the amount of appeals that person can take later down the road. And I try to and want to educate the public about that, because we don't want things being overturned down the road. We want things done right and properly the first time, so we can limit that ability later down the road. And this is a situation where we have a clerk that created a toxic situation in this man's murder trial that actually may give him some standing in having a new trial. So I am pissed, as you can imagine, about that. I do believe if we did go to a second trial, he will be ultimately found guilty a second time. But the financial crimes most likely would stay out. They probably wouldn't open Pandora's box like they did the first go round. And so all of that stuff would have stayed out. And I don't think the financial crimes really did affect their standing on that to begin with, just my opinion. He definitely isn't what his family thought he was. Reminds me of Chris Watts, acts like the nicest person, but is fake. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of where we are in the case. I wanted to give you guys a good update for Alec Murdaugh. We haven't touched the case. I'm kind of chomping at the bit for a second trial. If we have a second trial, we will be there, okay? We've been front row and center of every aspect of the Alec Murdaugh case, from his murder trials to his appeals court to the auction of all of his belongings. We were there front and center. We have all of the stuff. If you guys are interested in it, look at our curation of content for the Alec Murdaugh case. I will try to get, I don't think I put him in a playlist, but I'll try to go through my stuff and get him in a playlist all by himself. This is one of the trials of the century. One of the things that we do cover is a lot of these breaking news cases, and again, front and center when these cases break. But here over the last couple years, thank God we haven't had too many breaking cases, but we have had to sit out a lot of the breaking cases. And I'm kind of excited for 2026 because I feel like the last of the court stuff will be over in 2026, and we can finally start putting the pieces together, getting Tony finished up, paid back, and then moving on with the channel and our life, and getting back out there in the streets, bringing these cases to you guys front and center. It's time for us to get back out and start searching for these people. I'm sick and tired of looking at these four walls. This is not what the channel was built for. We spend real money on here to bring these cases to you. We have our own curation of content, copyrighted content that nobody else will have, but the Bullhorn Betty channel, that's what we like. That's the stuff that we like. That's our channel. That's what we do here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. We bring the news to you guys. We don't usually have to cover news from other people. We cover our own news from our own sources, and we need to get back to doing that and get back into being out on the streets and getting back out in the field. Now with all this new equipment, how are we going to travel? I'm not sure yet. I don't have a clue. I have no clue what we are going to do when we get back out on the road. I have a funny feeling I'm going to need to buy a van, and we're going to have to start taking one of my actual gas-powered generators, because we're going to be running so much shit. I've got camera lights. I've got tents. I got pop-ups. I've got cameras. I've got computers. I've got, we're going to be even having our Starlink pretty soon. We're gonna be running yeah, I know. RV is out of touch. We're gonna go with the van first. I'm gonna go with the van for the first 5 years. Once we get in the van, we'll be good. So we're not there yet. We'll just keep growing and growing and growing and growing and growing, and then eventually we'll just be moving CNN right on up out the way. You're going to see a Bullhorn Betty microphone in your local news at some point in the near future. I've already got the block. I've already got the stand. I've even got the clips, no matter what they've got. I even got the I don't have a boom stick. I'm not doing a boom. I've got all the kind of connections I can connect it with. This, that, the other. That's what I plan on doing. BHB Media Van. Yeah, that's going to be hard. I don't know, I kind of liked, Adventures with Purpose, how they had their van, like people knew it was Adventures with Purpose. They had their van wrap. I don't know if I'll do that. I really don't. Because I'm so incognito in some of the stuff that we do, we can't bring attention to ourselves. So it's quite difficult to wrap a vehicle, especially when you're trying to go incognito. Aw, thank you, Eeyore. I appreciate it. Keep it up. You too, babe. You too. Thank you. I love it. So, that's eventually I wasn't too dangerous. Yeah. Well, it wouldn't, but it doesn't really bother me. At some point when we get to that point, I'm going to have security. Like, nobody's going to be messing. I'm not really worried about it. I'm going to continue to do what I do. I put people on the spot. I show up at their houses. I do whatever I do. I do what I do. Okay. People love it. People hate it. I really don't care. It's not you living this life. It's not you doing the work. It's me. Just saying. They love it, hate it. I don't care. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to do anyways. Just saying. If you guys haven't noticed, that's kind of my MO. I do whatever the hell I want. Nobody tells me what to do. I could lose my channel tomorrow and I'd still be doing what I'm doing, right? All I would do is just build a website and you guys would be over on my website because nobody's going to tell me what I can and cannot do. Nobody's going to censor me. Nobody's going to boot me off. We have a following. And if they ever push me, we'll just keep moving the needle, okay? I'm telling you, no matter what, you ain't going to get this girl down. If you don't believe me, go call a hate channel and ask them. They spent 5 years trying to take me on. And they're too weak and too much of a cowards to do it. And I do all my stuff right here. Hey! Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Show. What? Damn. Just saying. The nuke alarm. We going down, baby. We going down. And we still here saying, hey! Who dat? That Bullhorn Betty. Who dat? Oh, but she only got 113 people. Doesn't matter. At least my people ain't fake. I'm just saying. You know why? Because they come here and they're like, hey! Don't worry. You're going to start getting hit back with all that funny business you guys are doing, because we've been paying attention to all of the little games and jokes and stuff that those hate channels are doing. The thing is we do it better. We don't have to be out here bragging, trying to say, oh my gosh, we're so badass. Look at all of us pick on one person. We're so badass. It takes 1,000 people to pick on one person. I'm going to tell you, when it takes 1,000 people to pick on one person, trust me, that one person is a hell of a lot stronger than you, okay? Because they're standing alone, okay? You guys got to run in packs. That's some coward-ass bullshit. So you guys keep being shitty, and we're going to keep bringing the stuff. We're going to be bringing the good stuff.
All I gotta say to the hate channels is stop being bullies, stop being mean, stop acting criminally, quit being shitheads, and act like your mama. Oh, that's right, most of you guys don't have mamas, and the mamas you do have probably out there sucking on things that they shouldn't be sucking on. It's probably why you guys are pieces of shit. Just saying. So, folks, quit being a piece of shit and come over and hang out with the Bullhorn Betty channel. All right, you guys have an amazing day. God bless you. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe. But more importantly, kind to one another. Unless you're a hate channel, then you guys can kiss my white-breaded ass. Just saying. You commie mother, you know what? Have a great day.